And so as it went, each team had chances of winning some of the races. Meanwhile, the others, they just continued to plod their way around the field, lap after lap after lap. And when they had completed all 25 laps, they threw a party. And suddenly that messenger arrived again in the midst of their celebration. And so the others asked, "You told us at the beginning that we would learn our reward when we finished. And we have completed 25 laps of the field. What do we get?" "Your reward," said the messenger, "is that you made it." The others were stunned. Is that all there is? We have made this long journey just to say that we have made it? But then when the others thought about their accomplishment, however, they had to agree that this was the reason they were celebrating. It was because. But what about the teams? Asked one of the others. Seeing that none of them were present, the team, said the messenger, as you can see, didn't make it. And that's the heck of it. In Matthew 21, verses 28 through 32, Jesus tells us a story. "What do you think?" he says. "A man had 2 sons. He went to the first and said, 'Son, go and work in the vineyard today.' And he answered, 'I will not.' But later he changed his mind and he went. When the father went to the second and said the same, and he answered, 'I go, sir,' but he did not go. Which of the 2 did the will of the Father?" Those listening said, "The first." And Jesus said to them, "Truly I tell you, the tax collectors and the prostitutes are going into the kingdom ahead of you. Truly I tell you that all of those others that you look down upon, that you think are just out of it, they're going to the kingdom ahead of you. For John came to you in the way of righteousness, and you did not believe him, but the tax collectors and the prostitutes, they believed him. And even after you saw it, you did not change your minds and believe him." There are those of us who we perform a task for personal gain and recognition. We do it because we want to be the best at something. We want others to know that we are the best. And if we fall into this camp, then going all the way back to that first question of why are you here, why are you a part, the reason we're here is so that we can be seen. So that it can be known that, oh, Stephen's a good person, right? Look at all the good things he did. It's so that those other people know, the others know that we are good. And possibly we're here or we join because we think it might afford us some special privileges from God. If we check all those boxes, then we'll be guaranteed something. We want to be winners. We want to be recognized. We want to be looked up to. We want things to be about us. People like this, well, they're the second son in Jesus' story. They are like the religious elite who proclaim to know God but never seem to follow God's will. They're like the teams in that children's story. They cast some aside. They push out the weak. They become obsessed with winning and gaining recognition amongst themselves, but in the end, they never make it. They never find the satisfaction in the task of living itself and being present, because they're never really present in what they're doing. It's about the next thing and the next thing. But here's the great news. We don't have to be like that second son. We don't have to divide into teams and compete for personal gain. We can and should be the kind of people who, regardless of the level of recognition, go out and pursue God's will. Even better than that, it doesn't matter when we decide to change and become true people of God, because whenever we do, we're forgiven and accepted and loved the same by God. In our